It's not Valentine's Day. It's not even my birthday. But that doesn't mean dinner doesn't deserve a show-stopping dessert worthy of a diva. That's right, the diva's at the table, not in the oven. Chocolate soufflés are simple, impressive desserts that anyone can make. I have been cooking for my family since I was 8 years old, and despite that, the first time I made a soufflé, I was a little intimidated. Up until I read the recipe. And that's when I learned, to quote Doctor Who, the soufflé is not in the soufflé. The soufflé is in the recipe. That is to say, a tiny bit of technique can go a really long way. We all like to eat beautiful things, but for some of us, fine dining is not a prospect we can look forward to. Here's a way to make an elegant dessert at home and impress the ones you love. Before attempting to make this, I lacked the confidence in the kitchen despite many years of cooking because I struggled to bring home a meal by having a beautiful, impressive dessert at the end. After I learned how to make soufflés, I began to see how so many classic techniques were really simple steps that yielded beautiful results. So let's get started. The only thing easier than making a chocolate soufflé is eating one. Chocolate soufflés have a reputation for being technically challenging, but the reality is nothing of the sort could be true. James Beard famously said, "The only thing that will make a soufflé fail is if you're afraid of it." Modern kitchen appliances like stand mixers and microwaves take all of the time and difficulty out of making soufflés. Modern ovens heat very evenly so that soufflés rise very consistently and predictably. The first time I read the recipe, I couldn't believe how simple it was to make a soufflé. You can make a soufflé in 1, 2, 3. All you need is 3 eggs separated, the whites whipped into stiff peaks, some butter for your dishes, a 1/3 cup of sugar plus more for your dish, 2 ounces of good chocolate, and a pinch of cream of tartar. First, you make your base by adding egg yolks and sugar to your chocolate. You want to incorporate it until it thickens, and you want to whip some air into it. Don't be afraid to be kind of aggressive. Once that's thickened, you want to take your egg whites and then fold these gently into your chocolate base. Start with about 1/4 of the whites and then scoop under the sauce, cutting in the egg whites. And we'll just add the rest of these. Continue to fold and cut, scooping under and mixing it all together. You don't want to stir it because it'll crush out the air, and the air is what builds your soufflé. The first time I made a soufflé, it didn't rise so super high, and that was because I did not know exactly how to fold. But that's really an easily learned technique, and once you see it demonstrated, anyone can do it. Okay, so now that everything looks evenly incorporated, we're going to fill our bowls. Before we did this, I buttered each of the cups with a little bit of butter, and then I put sugar in them so that they would act like the flour. So fill your cups until they're full. I think we're just going to put everything in this one. And then, if you have a wet knife or another spatula, you want to smooth it off so that the top is very flat and even, so that it'll rise straight up. Just like that. Oh, look, there's a big giant mess. Okay, so now that we've done that, all we're going to do is put that in a hot oven for 25 minutes. And when it comes out, it will be a impressive, beautiful dessert that anyone can attempt. Despite all appearances and long-fabled reputation to the contrary, chocolate soufflés are easy desserts any modern cook can easily add to her repertoire. Go home and make a chocolate soufflé. You'll impress your loved ones and make them feel really special without breaking a sweat. Bon appetit! Mm-hmm.